I am now a couple months removed from graduating with my master's degree in computer science from the University of Illinois, so I figured it'd be a good time to reflect on my time in the program and discuss my experiences chronologically. The hope is that this will help prospective students get a feel for what they're pursuing a master's degree in computer science is like. Let's jump right into it with my first semester in the program, which was in spring 2020. This was the only semester that I took 2 courses at once, and needless to say, that was a terrible mistake on my part. Not only that, but the whole experience was amplified by the initial shock of COVID lockdowns happening right in the middle of the semester. I was spending 25 to 40 hours a week outside of work doing schoolwork, so almost every night from 8 p.m. to midnight, I was working on school. Enough of the sob story. As it goes for the courses, I decided to take CS484, Parallel Computing, and CS411, Database Systems. CS484 was a really interesting course, and I'm glad that I took it. It was for sure one of the most difficult courses in the program. The assignments were done in C++ and needed to be submitted in the department's computing clusters, which adds some complexity for a developer that's used to the cushy development experience of Visual Studio on a desktop. Not only did I need to brush up on my C++, but almost weekly assignments and programming projects were due. I learned a ton about cache locality, thread safety, OpenMP, and MPI. I probably won't ever need to apply this in practice, but I think it's the type of course that every developer should experience just to gain perspectives on solving problems efficiently. I ended up getting an A- in this course. CS411 was a dry course with the typical content you'd expect from a modern database course. We touched on traditional relational database systems like MySQL, then moved on to more modern NoSQL, document databases like MongoDB, and lastly we explored graph databases by playing around with Neo4j. I haven't used graph databases up to that point, so it was an interesting experience. The biggest portion of the course, outside of the exams and quizzes, was a semester-long group project. I had a great team, so it was an enjoyable experience. Due to the pandemic, we got an option of the course being graded pass-fail, and if I recall correctly, I think this was the default option for the professor. After escaping my first semester barely with my sanity, I decided to only take 1 course at a time moving forward. I wanted to get a 500 level course out of the way, so I went for CS513, Theory and Practice of Data Cleaning. I can't believe CS513 is an advanced course in the program. It's a joke to consider this when I just spent hundreds of hours grinding out CS411 and CS484, and only a couple months prior to that. CS513 was mindlessly easy. You may get some utility out of data science if that's your thing, otherwise I would skip it. It was an easy A+ though. Moving on to semester 3, I was feeling refreshed from the breeze of my summer class, and I decided to take CS425, Distributed Systems. CS425 was one of my favorite courses because of the subject matter was very interesting, and the professor was great. We learned about the basics of supporting distributed computing with topics like failure detection, time synchronization, leader election, and consensus. There were 2 large programming assignments where you gotta simulate creating a distributed system with failure detection. This was a fun application to the content we were learning throughout the lectures. This was a difficult class for sure, and the exams were quite tricky. I was able to squeak out an A-. Like parallel computing, distributed systems is another topic I think all developers should learn for well-roundedness. At this point in the program, I made it to the halfway marker. So far it's been a pretty good experience, especially after lightening the load after the shock from the first semester workload. In the Illinois MCS, you either complete the generalist track or the data science track. I was on the generalist track, so I had more options to choose for selection. I chose to specialize in cloud computing, meaning I wanted to take 3 courses on cloud and take a capstone course for a 500 level credit. CS425 was the first, then I took CS498. CS498, named Cloud Computing Applications, is a very content-packed course with weekly programming assignment deliveries. I got to work a lot with AWS and various components and services available in the AWS ecosystem, like EC2, S3, Lambda functions, API Gateway, IAM, and more. I really enjoyed playing around with AWS and building solutions, but the course lectures were out of control. Even watching at 1.75 times speed, it was still too much. In the end, it was a fulfilling course and I managed an A-. Now it's time to wrap up my cloud computing journey and take the Cloud Computing Capstone course, which was what I took in the summer of 2021 semester. This course was nothing that I thought it would be. I figured I would need to design and implement complex systems using AWS, get feedback with our plan as we went. While that was a portion of the course, a majority of the class was driven by writing an academic paper, which was a monumental disappointment for me. Not only that, but the professor was non-existent in the class forums. It was for sure a semester forget. At least I got an A. Continuing the joke that is the 500 level course catalog for the program, I decided to take CS 598 Data Curation in the fall semester. CS 598 Data Curation rivals CS 513 for the most useless course in the program. I pretty much purged everything I learned with that course. It's not really worth wasting your time trying to recap. It was an easy A though. Here we are at the end of the program. I need to take an artificial intelligence course to complete my breadth requirements, so I picked CS 441 Applied Machine Learning. CS 441 was okay, it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, just a typical okay college course. The class was mostly completing Python Jupyter notebooks, solving problems using NumPy. Most of the assignments were reasonable, and the TAs did a great job being responsive in the forums, sending myself out of the program with an A. As I've stated in some of my other recent videos, I really enjoyed my time in the program, and I found it to be personally satisfying and beneficial professionally. Like this video if you found the content helpful, and consider subscribing if you want to see similar videos in the future. See you there.